Jesse is fucking dead!
That's so sad. I can't believe it.
It actually happened to EliteAri. There was much
yeah.
speculation that they might not do it just to be funny or something. But then I think every time we came to the conclusion that they would indeed do it, and then they did it. He got shot right in the same place, right through the cheek. True.
Oh my god, it just happened so quickly. I wasn't expecting to be that quick. But
What
yeah.
was so quick? Did you just cut out for a bit? For actually, were you doing a bit?
I did, yes. No,
Oh
for
my
real, I cut
goodness.
out because I don't know why.
So Jesse is
What was I
dead,
saying? I know it
EliteAri.
was so quick. Yeah, I wasn't expecting it. It just happened. He just died so quickly. I was like, oh my god.
Yeah, that's literally how it happened in
yeah.
the game, so that's not this show's fault or anything. Don't give the show a
No, that was
compliment.
great. The show did a good job. It was a fantastic attempt at tricking me, and it did. I was like, oh my god, he's gonna die later, but no, he died immediately. And I was like, oh my god, this is crazy.
Oh,
yeah.
you were shocked at the lack of the change, EliteAri. Now I'm on the same page. Now I understand. Now we're all holding hands here, EliteAri. So what did you think of this, the finale of season? This is our last one, EliteAri. That's why I had to bring fucking Dead back, and I didn't think of anything. You know, we got to do callbacks. It's the end of the season, EliteAri. And, you know, earlier I speculated, EliteAri, that maybe we'd get the next season, like, this year or something, and they would film it all. And that's definitely not true. The way Neil Druckmann was talking in those podcasts he was doing, they have not even started pre-planning or, like, planning out the episodes or whatever for season 3. So that's 2 years away.
Huh? Wait, sorry. What? He said that? That's crazy to me.
Yep, they said
haven't even started pre-production.
In the interview with Colin Moriarty that I tried to send you, EliteAri, you refused to watch it. He talked about, now that was recorded like 2 weeks ago. He said they were having a meeting that week to decide if there was going to be a season 4, which entailed planning out what season 3 was going to be. So they didn't have it planned out, I guess.
That's kind of crazy. Oh my goodness. I figured that they would have already like been pretty heavy into that, unless they hadn't got approved until pretty recently.
It got approved right before season 2 started airing. But even then, I think you would plan it. Like, they were probably pretty confident that they were gonna. I don't know. Joel did die, so you know.
Yep.
Maybe everybody stopped watching, which is true, EliteAri. I saw it on Twitter.
It's not true at all.
You're supposed to be saying what you thought of the great episode right now, EliteAri.
Yeah. So I think. Let me think. This I really liked. I think this was it has to be the best one of the season. However, I didn't like, and it's like a big issue, I guess, because next season is going to be a big thing. I didn't like the switch to Abby's perspective, because I don't know what it is. It's like I just have no investment.
It was very blunt. It wasn't
like
it was
Like, I don't hate her that much. I don't like her at all. It just feels weird. Like, I remember really liking it when it happened in the game. I'm just like, oh, I don't really care.
They're cutting to a different point too.
Oh, maybe I don't know.
Because in the game you cut to young Abby with her dad before Joel kills everybody.
I do remember that.
You cut to her waking up, which is how you cut to her after that.
Like, okay, actually, here's another thing, just to say on this, the perspective shift. It's also, like, a separate to not caring much about Abby's character. It's another thing of, like, oh, the show's like, okay, now we're going to see, like, day one from, like, Abby's perspective.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, I feel like I don't really, like, I kind of assume...
They tried to treat it like a reveal.
Like, oh, she, like...
But it kind of, like...
Well, not even like a reveal. They try to treat it like a big deal. It's like, oh, now you're going to see what actually
But there's, like, no intrigue to it, and it's like...
Yeah, exactly.
I don't even know if a person that doesn't know what the structure of the story is going to be would even understand what's happening. Like, I guess...
Oh, no, they'll understand. It says day one at the end.
Yeah, but, like, is anybody going to... Is the average person going to remember that?
Absolutely. The average person's going to... Oh, day one. It said day 3 at the beginning. It's day 1 now.
I mean, it doesn't really matter. The average person's going to watch it regardless, whether or not they understand stuff. I don't know. Yeah. Would my girlfriend understand EliteAri? Almost certainly not, but that's okay. Especially if she has to wait 2 years between these things. But that's all right. Anyway, EliteAri, I thought this episode was fucking terrible, and I hated it, and all my notes are very, very angry. So...
Oh, wow. Is it very different?
Yeah, it's not in terms of events, really, but, I thought the acting was very, very bad in, like, every scene, almost. I hated all the characters. For Ellie, for Jesse especially. Jesse was absolutely terrible.
Oh, no, I like Jesse. Jesse was
Dina,
great.
I really, really didn't like. There were some silly, like, slight changes. I really, really despised the Melon Owens scene. Like, I think it was absolutely terrible.
What, the scene before Ellie gets there, or like when they're
No,
with
like
Ellie?
how she kills them and her being sad about it.
Oh
And,
wow.
I just like
Okay, I
I
liked all that.
I
That's
like
really
paused it
interesting.
like 4 times, and I was like, ugh. But we can sort of go through it. Yeah, like I have like a bunch of my notes are like Ellie and Jesse have a bad fight. Ellie and Jesse have another bad fight. Ellie and Jesse somehow have a worse reconciliation. And I was just like, I was hating their dynamic. I thought it was absolutely terrible.
That's it. Is that so? Is that, I don't remember at all. Are they not in the game? Like
that
these
is
scenes
very
of
different in
them?
the game. In the game, they never have a fight. They like
Oh, interesting.
disagree very strongly, but it's very, very calm. I think Jesse is like a terrible, not even, no, he's not a terrible person. He's just like a prick in the show, and I hated him. Now Ellie was very unlikable too. I guess Jesse's defining feature in the game is that he's like the nicest guy ever. So it's obviously a big change, but only change is not what makes it bad. But I think also, I think like all of the ways they handle the character dynamics and the conflict between the characters, especially internally in our group, it's just like it removes everything that's even halfway interesting. It is like terribly generic to me, and I despise it. Like it's the worst thing ever. And I kept coming back to that word. I don't know if Mr. Gems has put it back in my lexicon.
Is this, yeah,
but it was just like,
is this the first bad episode of the show, would you say?
I decided in this that I hated the show entirely. I was going through it. I was mad.
Oh wow.
Especially season 2. I was like, season 1 was good because, there were so many in-between scenes and you can do your own thing. There was a scene that was original that I thought was, like, great. And I was like, this is why I pretend the show is good. Oh, it's the Isaac scene. Even though I don't like that inclusion here at all. But I was like, they're, like, acting good. And, like, Isaac is, like, a nuanced performance and he's saying interesting things. And then you just got Jesse and Ellie yelling at each other, saying the most boring, like... It's like what people accuse the game of being with like the love triangle stuff, but they're actually doing it, and I don't know.
Huh? What's the love triangle stuff?
Well, that's the whole reason Jesse's actually mad at her.
The love triangle? Who loves Jesse?
Well,
I guess you mean not love triangle.
Well, yeah,
you mean just like the
love
there's, like, love
conflict
stuff
with
going on.
three
Okay,
people.
I understand. Yeah, okay.
True. Anyway, we should probably go through it chronologically. I have vague notes chronologically. Right. Anyway, I'm getting hung up on things. We started with Dina and Jesse and an arrow EliteAri. Crazy. Oh, the most over the top, like she's pregnant. They tried to do indirect exposition, but it was so, and they did it a few times in the episode too, where it was like the most terrible indirect exposition that was so painfully direct. I wanted to kill myself.
Wait, what is that? I don't get what are you? So, you're saying instead of saying she's pregnant,
she doesn't want the alcohol EliteAri, and she's saying things like, "Please, I have to." Like the way she said she had to live or whatever was not possessive of herself, but like she had a grand. It's like, oh my god. I actually went back and I watched a bunch of Jesse scenes just so I could arm myself. I could cleanse my palate. Actually, no, I paused. I think I paused in the middle of the episode to go and watch the scene where Ellie confirms to Jesse EliteAri, can we get these names right? That Dina's pregnant, and I was like, oh my god. Jesse's like so calm. He's like figured it out by himself, and like he figured it out off screen because Ellie was run off away, and it's like, and also, it is, I don't know, Dina.
Wait, you talking about in the game? You watched the scene?
Yeah.
Or that show scene?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought you meant you watched the scene here.
No.
Okay.
Because Dina got shot in the leg 2 episodes ago. Mind you, if we had forgotten, it was a little while ago. Which is show original. Because in the game she's just like out of it because she's like got pregnancy sickness or whatever. Morning sickness, that's called EliteAri. I'm a genius. So they ramp it up with having her leg thing, which is fine, I guess. It's just like adding stuff, and it feels like it adds. It takes everything away from Ellie's character. I really, this whole episode does, because she's not like. This happens in the scene right afterwards where she's like, maybe Nora didn't deserve it, guys. And this has been a continuous thing throughout the season where it's sort of like the whitewashing of Ellie, like trying to make her a better person overall. But it makes her almost less likable in a sense when it's just the propulsion is so different. In the game, you are so on Ellie's side at every turn because you're like, evil with her. You want to kill all these people. Like, fuck these people. In the show, you don't really feel that at all, and they almost don't even try. Like, especially in the L and the Mel and the Owen scene. Like they try to have a heartfelt moment with Mel, and you're just supposed to be with it. Whereas in the game, like that Mel bitch, she got stabbed in the throat, and Ellie did it. Good. Fuck her.
But I'm curious then, like when you're playing the game, why do you hate the pregnant lady or whatever? I guess why?
Well, you don't. You kind of hate him
nice
incidentally.
One in the original scene, right?
She
I can understand hating
yes.
Owen or whatever, but
she is nice in the original scene. I guess you probably don't hate Mel. The funny thing is, once you get more context, you're kind of more annoyed at Mel because she's getting in the way of Abby and Owen getting together, which is funny. But you don't. I never like. Even in the game, Ellie does have a moment of pause when she finds out about the pregnancy, just because it mirrors like Dina. Whereas here, it's like she's even saying she's not going to kill them before, like she just wants to know where Abby is. Or in the game, she says something about she only wants Abby, but you're pretty sure she's lying and that she's going to kill him, like she would kill them, like anyway. I think I should have watched that scene again. I think Owen tries to grab her gun, and that's when she shoots him. But afterwards, she does like stab him to finish him off. And it's pretty ruthless. But she also stabs Mel in the neck, I think. But I don't remember how she would have got there. I don't know. I should have rewatched that scene. Anyway, I don't know why we're talking about that scene.
We're talking about it just like because you were saying that in the game you're on Ellie's side the whole time wanting to kill Mel, and I feel like I don't understand why you would want to kill Mel.
Well, it's not Mel specifically, not really. It's just like generally you're not feeling bad that you've killed these people. There's especially on that first playing, there is like a resentment towards the game because you can tell they're kind of like we're probably eventually going to like the other shoe is going to drop. The theme is not going to be vengeance good. So you're kind of cognizant of it, and like one of my favorite parts is when you switch to Abby and you do have the moment of like, no game, we're not doing this right now. Fuck this dumb little girl and her dumb dad and this dumb zebra. And it's like a slow process where they win you over. And it's like, and obviously there's added context a little bit later. But even when you get to, well, at least this is how I felt, even when you get to the Abby confronting, like you get to day 3 at the end of day 3 as Abby, you're still like, well, I don't want Abby to win it all. And like, it still positions you like that because you do see Jesse get shot again and you're like, fuck me. And then like she does nearly kill Dina too. And it looks like she killed Tommy. So it's like you're much more empathetic towards her, but you're still like, well, I have my people here. Like fuck Abby a little bit. And it's not until later where Ellie continuously makes like worse and worse mistakes, and you sort of reflect on like Ellie has kind of done this all selfishly, even though that's never stated out loud by anybody except maybe Dina when she walks out of the house. Here, Jesse tells her that to her face, EliteAri, and that was pissing me off too. But it is like this journey thing where it's like the obvious humanity where you sort of understand that this is almost certainly wrong. Like you're resentful that you feel that way because you remember how you felt when Joel dies. So it's like, well, fuck this game and fuck Mel. I'm not going to feel sorry for her. Let's keep going. Because you can kind of tell it's coming. And it's a very tricky line to weave because that is a lot of people's criticism of part 2 is like, oh, it's so obvious what the game is trying to do here, and like the funny XQC clip where he just runs Abby off the building like a million times when you first have to play as her or whatever. And I don't know. I don't know how you end up on either side of that line, or anything like that. But Mel is like a victim in that. Because you already have more context for Owen because you have the initial Owen-Abby scene where you first play as Abby. But even then, I'm trying to remember if I like hated Owen specifically. You really hate Manny specifically because he spits on Joel. And obviously you hate Abby. And then like when you meet people like Nora says like Joel's a little bitch or whatever before you kill her, and that makes you hate her again. And it sort of reignites certain things. So, EliteAri, what were you saying?
I wasn't saying anything. You were talking.
You asked me a question.
No, about why you thought you hated Mel when you were playing
okay.
through. But
I think I answered that.
I think you answered that.
But why are we talking about Mel? We're supposed to be going chronologically, EliteAri.
Because you were saying the scene was bad because you were positioned differently to hate Mel less or something initially, like even before they die, right?
I don't know.
I don't know. Maybe I think that's what you were saying. I don't know.
But I was critiquing the show, wasn't I? But I don't even remember why.
Yeah. Because the scene was bad. I don't know.
It was. The scene was bad. Idea. But what did any of that have to do with
I like
the
scene? That was a great scene. I like that scene. One of the best scenes of the episode.
Oh, I don't like how she. I guess a big thing is like she incidentally kills Mel. It's like, because I guess
like that was really good.
This is like the thing, where it's like taking the evilness away from Ellie. I guess that's probably how we got into this, because it was like you being evil with Ellie positioned behind her in the game. But I like that, because it's kind of like a core themes thing where you don't realize you were wrong until later, and then you almost judge Ellie for it, but you yourself are not culpable. But I feel like because we're not having that shift, like we're trying to make Ellie less bad because we don't want, like, so we don't. I don't know. I assume we're still gonna dislike her kind of by the end, or be frustrated with her. So I don't know. I don't know what the meaning or the intention or the purpose or the outcome of this will eventually be. I guess we got to wait 2 years later to see, or maybe more, to see season 4.
Yep.
But true, there was an arrow.
I can't. Is there actually gonna be a season 4 this year?
They have confirmed that their intention is to do a season 4. Yeah.
I might just drop it next season. We'll see. Oh my goodness. Firstly, we haven't said overall. Just like we'll talk about it at the end. Yeah. Okay. Whatever. Let's keep going. We haven't even said anything. We're jumping around. Oh my goodness. All right.
There's Dina and an arrow. Then Dina and Ellie bad acting. I have written down here. Oh, this was the washing scene / I guess she was checking on Dina. There's a weird part where she walked up to her and awkwardly brushed her hair away, and I didn't like that, EliteAri. And what did they talk about here, EliteAri? Do you remember it all? Because I remember not liking it.
The scene where they take Ellie's top off or whatever.
Yes, that happens a little, but I think that's after the talking.
Oh, wait, what?
They do talk after that, but I remember making this note before that happened. So anyway, whatever. We'll move on. But it is true. It is kind of a famous scene from the game where Dina washes Ellie's like wounds and stuff like that and stitches her up. Dina's not really injured there, so it's kind of interesting. It's just I'm just going on to a difference rant. Like Ellie is talking here. It's funny because we follow her back, and obviously we had the flashback episode in between, so it sort of halts the progression in that sense. But like we cut from her beating up Nora to basically this scene immediately, and Ellie's like really like out of it and dissociative and like freaked out about like torture. And they kind of
in the game or here?
In the game, they kind of build up to it here.
Okay.
Where she's like come back and she's like, "Where's Dina? Where's Dina?" Dina was always in the theater in the game, so she didn't have to be worried about that. I don't know. And then it's just like she's questioning the whole mission, which again Ellie never does. And if anybody tries to do it to Ellie, she gets like really mad in the game. So it's just more. I guess it's this continual thing I'm complaining about, where we're like muddying Ellie's more like pure vengeful motivation. I guess. That's probably why I didn't like it. Oh, and then Nora says...
okay, just to say on that, on the motivation thing, I probably agree, mostly. And I think Ellie probably is my least... I don't know if it's my least favorite character in the show, but it's my least favorite. Like, I don't like watching her character much, because it's like a mixed bag of whether I think it's good or not most of the time. However, I really did feel the like kind of devotion to the mission when she got the glimpse of the aquarium or whatever. No, I don't know if it's the aquarium, whatever.
Later, I did like that.
Oh, I feel it here. Yeah.
There was a cool music.
And it was like, she's actually still crazed about this. And yeah, like she even now, like in this situation where she's obviously in a very bad position here. She shouldn't go. She's still obsessed with it. And I felt it there, I guess. But I do know what you mean about it. She is very much like doubting stuff a lot throughout this.
Yeah. This is
yeah.
it's like obsession is a word. I remember in the video game Donkey video essay about it, he brought up obsession a lot for The Last of Us Part 2, and it sort of made me think about it. And it very much is the case where it's like Ellie is like grieving, and like her single-mindedness to like do something because it's so soon afterwards is kind of like a propelling motivation for her also. And it is like a scene I really like in the game, where her and Jesse are like at this crossroads, and it's like, well, Jesse's going to get Tommy because that's going to help our people, whereas Ellie is going to get Abby just because she wants to kill her, and it's like, they have a disagreement. They have a fight. It's just like not really very verbal. But yes, I like that they were doing that scene. I did like when she saw the thing. I hated that she repeated wail and wheel to herself. That felt like
that is true.
A terrible like kids movie moment. I kind of figured that something like that was going to happen when like they said that at the beginning. Like Nora only said two things. She said wail and wheel, which is not.
Was that in the game?
No, in the game.
I thought that was very dumb, but I was like, oh, maybe it's in the game.
No, it was.
Wait, Ellie comes what in the game?
Ellie comes back and she's just like, I know where Abby is. Like, she's at the aquarium. Nora told me I had to make her talk. But it's like, I guess there was also
that's so much better.
There was also like a thing in the game where it's like, it's very clear that Nora didn't talk for a long time, and that like Ellie had to do like a lot of torture stuff. There was also a weird thing, and this was also something they did a lot in season 1, but they kind of have ignored in season 2, where they are kind of playing into the like Ellie loves violence thing. There are scenes in season 1 where she's like fucking with that like infected that's trapped and like stabbing it a little bit, and she's like smirking. And then there's also the scene in I think episode 2 of the show where like Joel is beating the guard dude to death, and she like has a weird turned on face or something as she's watching it. She says something here where, and it was almost interesting because it almost seemed like we were trying to like do a contradiction thing where it's like she's like questioning whether or not Nora deserved it, and like she's trying to like, oh, what an empathetic moment, but she's also having this weird like, but I was hitting her, bro, and it was cool. I guess that didn't really go anywhere. We can see, there's still time. But yeah. Oh no, she says it was easy for me or whatever as she was doing it. I guess that kind of makes more sense than what I was recalling it as, of like it was easy in the moment, but now that she has to think about it, she's like having regrets or something. That is something you can read into the game.
I just took it as she's concerned because it was so easy. It's like, oh, how easily I could fall to become an evil person. Like I was torturing someone who didn't even bother me at the time.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. She's very affected by it in the game scene, but it's like never verbalized what she's affected by. I had always taken it as like, oh, she had to torture somebody, because they had talked earlier about how when they first get there, Tommy, they see like the torture scene of Tommy, and how he did the same thing that Joel did with the map, which Ellie tries to do at the end of this part of the game too, and in this episode. But it's like she's like not at their sort of like level yet. Like this is like Ellie's first time torturing somebody. She's very affected by it. It's also like a lot of the things Ellie does, like almost throughout the whole game, is like her sort of repeating Joel's mistakes a lot, and sort of coming to understand him better through that way, which is like dooms her relationship with Dina by doing silly things, and the torture stuff and going into violence and what she would do for him, like he did for her and stuff, and understanding why he would do things at the hospital, whatever. That's season 4 stuff, EliteAri. Oh, and then there's a big thing, EliteAri. She tells Dina what Joel did, which is a pretty massive change. And then Dina immediately says, we need to go home. It's a big Dina change, I think. Dina never finds out anything about Joel. I don't think Ellie would ever tell her. Ellie keeping secrets from Dina is like a big piece of characterization, I think, for Ellie. She's very closed off and by herself and isolated. I feel like Game Dina would have said, like, she wouldn't have really cared. But Dina here seems to be having, like, a big moral, like, well, we shouldn't be killing these people sort of realization.
I didn't think of that at all. I just thought, oh, it's pointless. Like, let's just go. Like, these are not the enemies we thought. Let's just, like, leave.
Well, they're still But the only thing that's changed for Dina, right, is that she knows that it was like a retaliationary attack.
Yeah, exactly. So they know that she knows that if they leave now, it's like done. It's like it doesn't. They weren't there to kill us or anything.
Well, maybe not.
Just
We've already
leave now,
killed
and they're not going to come get us.
Well, I guess only one in the show, right? It's just
well, they don't really know, right? Or do they know? Oh, I guess they no. They think they're scars, probably, right? At this point.
Oh, that's true. Would they have somehow known? I guess people did see her chasing somebody, and Ellie wasn't bald. But yeah, maybe not. I don't know. I didn't really like that Dina change either. It's just whatever, but it's just a change. Then we have bad Jesse and Ellie bad argument. Wow, with bad acting. Oh my god, EliteAri. I've got a creative use of words here. Now let me try and remember what this first one was. The Ellie and Jesse scenes in the game are so good, bro. Because I rewatched one right after this, EliteAri. What was their first one? Was this the one outside? Yes, it was the one outside where he's like, I'm gonna get my kid and we're gonna get the fuck out of Seattle. I thought it was fucking terrible.
I like that one, yeah.
Now, Warner, I think was.
I'm curious. Yeah, what didn't you like?
I remember that Jesse was just being annoying and yelly, so that was annoying. I would need to rewatch it, EliteAri. I only watched it like an hour ago.
Okay. I think I liked it because it's like because Jesse is clearly like it's another condemnation of Ellie's character, I guess, where it's like Jesse is clearly being lied to here and is like she's run off and she's not saying anything and I don't know, it's like Jesse's I'm like I feel for you, man, you know, you don't know what's going on here. She's not saying anything and you know she's lying to you about like not saying that
she's it's the pregnancy stuff
and the baby and everything and I'm like I'm like, oh my goodness, Jesse, like I'm so sorry. Like, I feel bad for you here.
They tried
Jesse's side this whole scene.
They tried to do like it was something that would like the style of writing in the game a lot, where it was like he was like guessing and then she confirmed it, and like Ellie had like a self-aware funny line to herself. Like that is very much like the game is written to have lots of interactions like that, and in the show it felt like completely out of like the tone. It was like not the type of scene we were having because we were kind of having a yelling argument scene. So I remember not liking that. The fuck, I had a point before I wanted to do that small point. Oh, I remember it earlier. The I think a massive difference is that Jesse comes by himself in the game. Like he's not with Tommy. He meets up with Tommy before he gets there, but like he finds Tommy first before he finds the girls. But he didn't go with Tommy. Tommy went first, then Ellie and Dina go, and then Jesse follows them because he like loves Dina presumably, but he also loves Ellie kind of. He does have the line later in the game. I think they cut it. It is in this scene right before he gets shot where he says like in the game he says my friend's problems are my problems or whatever. Where Ellie's like, why did you you didn't need to come, like why did you come out here and stuff like that. There is a funny thing where it very much feels like when Jesse and especially when Dina is so happy when Tommy like walks through the gate, it does have like this weird undertone of like the men have arrived, guys. These dumb little girls. We're here to save them, and it's kind of cute and funny. But
in the game?
No, in the show where it's like, oh, the men have arrived to save the day. These dumb girls, they suck.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Absolutely.
Wait, what scene are you talking about?
Not Jesse. Tommy walks in. He's big. He's way bigger than these dumb little girls. He rolls in, and Gina's like, thank God. Now, obviously, it could be thank God that, like, oh, we found him and we're all back. But it's like, it very much, and then, like, they're having the meeting over the map, and it's like, we can't go this way, but we'll go this way.
You're talking about when Dina first sees them come back, right?
Yeah, that's one of them. One of the examples. Yes.
Oh, okay, that's interesting. Obviously, I don't take any of that reading whatsoever.
I feel like I've definitely brought this up in previous episodes. But how would we? We haven't really seen Tommy. But it was a very funny undertone. There is an easy The Last of Us Season 2. HBO's The Last of Us is misogynist, EliteAri. And the video game would never do that. Now...
Sure, what? It's entirely in your perspective. What did the show do?
No,
like,
it didn't. It had the boys making the plans. Because women can't make plans because they're fucking retarded. Do you see the situation they got in? And the great Jesse had to come in and save them. Embarrassing.
I don't even remember what you're talking about, but you know what?
3 pieces of textual evidence, EliteAri. You're losing this battle.
What are they? Listen, what are they?
Dina being so relieved that the men have arrived. them making the plan because the dumb
Well,
girls
she's
don't know
also
how to
relieved
leave.
that. Wait, she's relieved that Ellie's alive too, right?
Well, no, she didn't see Ellie when she said thank God yet. Ellie came in third and last. First the worst, second the best.
So you think that she's happy that the men are there and she doesn't even think about Ellie?
No, EliteAri. It's a byproduct of the scene and how it comes off. But what did you say about Ellie?
So, wait, so these are 3 pieces of textual evidence you're trying to provide for why the
3
show
pieces
is
of
making
textual
it,
evidence that give the impression that women suck and men are the real ones in charge.
Yes. And then the first one is that Dina is happy to see
Dina is relieved that the men have arrived, and now they can get them out of this bad situation. Because if you let girls do something, they'll mess it up.
Okay, then what's the second piece?
Second piece is the men have to make the escape plan because the girls are too stupid.
Okay, so you have to explain that because I don't remember that. When are they?
Well,
what are they doing?
They're like, it's right. Well, it's not right before. Well, it is right before Abby shows up, but it's right before Tommy leaves when Abby shows up. You know, understand?
You mean like when they're at the
they're drawing on the map and they say we can't go through the park because that's where the scary scars are, but we can go this way and we'll get the horses back. By the way, EliteAri, Shimmer's still alive. That's crazy.
Yeah. Okay.
Do you remember the scene yet?
Okay, then the third piece. Yeah, I remember the scene.
What was the third piece?
Wait, no, wait. Do I remember the scene? Wait. Sorry, the second one you're saying is when they're at the stage, right? And then Ellie shows up later, right?
The stage, EliteAri. That's true.
Yeah. Okay. Then the third piece.
What was the third piece? What did I just say? Third piece. Huh? Oh, when Jesse had to show up and save him because a great man had to show up and save him in 2 episodes ago. Or was it 3? It was one of those episodes.
Okay. Yeah. So I think
the great argument, EliteAri.
Okay. It's not a great argument. I mean, actually, it's a fine argument. Actually, I think it is. And I hope you understand that the other perspective is more compelling, right?
Well, Dina couldn't make the plan because she had a fucking arrow through her thing and she was sleeping, and Ellie was pretty traumatized that she had just killed 2 people. So I can do the argument for you, EliteAri. You're doing a bad job here.
That's what I was asking. Yeah, that's all I wanted to see if you could do the argument. Okay.
Ah.
So that dispels the
impression
one, right?
I was left with. I like my side better.
Okay. That's interesting. I don't know.
And what? A man can't save women, EliteAri? You know, it doesn't have to be... You don't have to politicize everything. Not everything's going to be about gender.
That's true.
I defeated all of my own arguments. Because EliteAri, you know, he had to stammer around for 7 minutes. Anyway, this scene was terrible, EliteAri. I hated Jesse. He was fucking annoying.
Yeah, I already said I liked it.
EliteAri liked it. He's an idiot. This is in my Great Dina video that was supposed to be out by now, EliteAri. I do bring up... it didn't really change the video, which is good, EliteAri. We're all happy about that.
Thank God.
I should probably include a line about Dina finding out about Joel, because I do specifically say that she doesn't in the game, and that's like a big thing. But it doesn't really change. Anyway, a big thing I bring up in that video, EliteAri, is about the lack of subtlety. We don't like that. And the changing of context of key moments. And I think most of this stuff, I don't know if you count the Ellie stuff I've been complaining about the whole time as a lack of subtlety. I guess it's like a lack of nuance or like so I guess it's more the contextual thing of like we're removing layers here to like simplify it because we're going fast. The What was my other point? And I'm tying that in. Subtlety, EliteAri. I feel like a lot of Jesse's character is communicated like Jesse is like there for you so constantly, and you're like, man, this guy's pretty cool. Like, he could be making an issue about this right now, but he's not. He's just helping out. And the show Jesse was entirely the opposite. He has to tell you that he's like a selfless guy who didn't go with that Mexican broad all the way to Mexico, EliteAri, because he had to stay behind and help Jackson. And it's like, well, we understood all this, and I think we had this argument maybe at the end of the last one where we were like, Jesse hasn't even become a character yet, and he's got to die at the end of the next episode. So we're probably going to focus a lot on him. And I think you said that you would already...
He's already a character,
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't need any of this.
They definitely tried a lot in the episode, but
they did.
I feel like the reason why you're like, man, Jesse did it. He was just such a nice guy, and like he didn't deserve that, and then he got shot in the head, and dumb bitch Ellie, you got him killed. But here it's like,
amen.
It's like they're priming you to have that reaction by trying to like tell you those things beforehand, and I don't know. It's just more overt, and it pisses me off, EliteAri.
I don't know if that's the case. Have you played this? You've played it a second time, right?
Well, no, I've never played it a second time. I watched it like a million.
Oh, you've
times
watched it a second. You don't feel the same thing for like when they're setting up Jesse to be like a nice guy? Like you don't think they do the same thing?
Now it is the like it's a different in Prime. I think it's literally just that it's like overt and like stated. That pisses me off. Because I'm trying to think of the most direct thing that they say. I don't know, everything, like, the kernels of each scene that they have is from the game. Like, Jesse and Ellie in the game do talk about, like, Dina being pregnant. And, like, Jesse does have a line where it's like, well, this changes things, we gotta go back. But he says it, like, so calmly, and they're like, because Dina's, like, sleeping next to them, and they're like, they're so cordial about it, and if there is like tension there, but we don't need to be yelling at each other to understand that there's like tension there. But in this dumb show we do, because it's for dumb people, and I'm a smart person. Subtlety is for the smart.
Interesting.
Now, Ellie really wants to help that guy. Oh my god, EliteAri, she wanted to help that Scar. I was like, why the fuck does she want to help this Scar? This is weird. And then they try to be like, because he's a kid. That didn't look like a kid, EliteAri. That was like a 20-year-old. She really wanted to help this guy, EliteAri, and they took his clothes off.
Yeah, it is interesting. Because I think I agree. It was really weird. She did really want to help that guy a lot. I don't know what to say, actually. It was really weird.
Ellie, I think
I was on Jesse's side there. I guess it feels like it's more to build up Jesse, to be like, yeah, like he's making the right decisions here again.
I guess it's like to plant the hypocrisy thing where like later Ellie will be like, well, you shouldn't, like, because Jesse kind of is like, oh, well, I care about the community, like I help the group, I'm selfless in that regard. But Ellie's like, well, that's just selfish anyway. Like you're selfish for the community of like the people you like are around. Which this is kind of emblematic of that. He doesn't care about another innocent person, assuming this guy is innocent, which is probably not the case. Maybe all children are innocent. I wanted to make a pedophile Mushoku Tensei until something, EliteAri, but I thought about it too hard, okay? So we'll spare you from that one. The children aren't innocent once Rudius gets a hold of him, EliteAri. There we go. I got it out. Now, and it was also like a Ellie empathetic, like, do you think the average person is like, do you think this is entirely speculative and doesn't have anything to do with the point, EliteAri, but do you think the average person's reaction to this scene is like, oh, a child, we must help them, I'm on Ellie's side, of course we must help them? Or do you think the average person is like, Ellie's being retarded right now, she's going to get us killed? If you were to put percentages on those two reactions, EliteAri, what do you think the percentages would be? Because I feel like that's like
I think the issue is, I didn't remember it was a kid until this very moment, like at all.
Yes,
so I feel like if it looked like a 10-year-old or like a 5-year-old or something, I'd be like, oh, it's like a 5-year-old.
That would be very different.
Like, I'd be
I guess that's the whole point.
Yeah, but now I didn't even think that it was a kid. So like, I don't think people will care. They'll just be like, oh, Ellie, what are you doing? Don't be dumb. That's probably what they think, I'm guessing.
Because it completely changes if the kid is like 8. Then everybody is on Ellie's side. But it was like a 35-year-old child, EliteAri. What the fuck?
Yeah. I wonder if I just missed it. Maybe if we like look close, maybe it is like obvious it's a kid or something. But I don't know. I didn't notice it.
I think it was supposed to be like 16, right? That's like the thing.
Maybe.
Also, I think the guy that was hunting him was the not Drake and Josh guy, EliteAri.
Okay, I
remember there was a guy in a scene, and that guy died, but that wasn't Drake and Josh. Drake Josh. Yes. It's one guy with 2 names, EliteAri. You got 2 names, I'm sure. Maybe even a 3rd name. Maybe even a 4th name, EliteAri. There's some people with 4 names.
Maybe.
Now, true. Ellie really wanted to help that guy. Oh, and then we get the great Isaac scene, EliteAri, and Isaac had nuance to his performance. It was so relieving. He was like, he got accused of like fucking Abby, and he the way he dismissed it was very cool. And I was like, oh, this is a performance right here. I'm loving this right now. This feels like it's a Naughty Dog game right now. The writing's so good, and I thumbs up the scene. Except I kind of hated this scene because I don't know why we're cutting to this. We're just trying to establish that like the war is happening right now, which is not really necessary. Obviously, it's just because we're going to get there eventually. And also, we probably wanted to market.
Wait, no, that was necessary for me, okay? Because if that explosion suddenly happened, I was like, what's going on here? I'm like, oh my, why?
But that's all show original too, EliteAri. Ellie does not go to the island, and it's like the weirdest change, or it's like she just
really
capsizes and rolls up so she can get nearly killed, and then like to run away, which is probably something because she's like, she tried to save a Scar earlier, but then they tried to kill her later, so we should hate the Scars or something. I don't know.
I thought that was like the clearest example. I was like, oh, this is obviously from the game because this feels so out of place. Like,
it was so out of place. It was like so not in the game.
Okay, interesting.
It is just like, because obviously there's going to be a massive action set piece in episode 6 of season 3 on the island. So it's like when you're rewatching it and you're a show only, you'll be like, oh my god, Abby's like, that explosion is where Abby is right now. She's fighting her way through with the great Lev after Lev killed her bitch mother. Crazy. I said her, EliteAri. It's bad.
I don't even remember the gender. What gender is Lev?
Lev is a boy, EliteAri.
Okay.
Unless you're a transphobic, like I just accidentally was. Now, the weirdest change, EliteAri. We're jumping ahead here, but absolutely flabbergasted that was in there. Because she went there and I was like, oh, she's going to wash up near the aquarium. But then I was like, there shouldn't be like trees near the aquarium. What's going on here? I guess there's like trees, and then you walk up and then it's like there's a little Scar kid. I was like, oh, that's a real kid, EliteAri. And then I was like, oh.
Yeah.
I remember in the trailer she was getting taken towards like a Scar to be hung up or whatever in the preview from last week. And I was like, oh, so we're doing that now. Because I thought like, is Abby going to like cut her down and then we're going to have the confrontation here or something? But that wouldn't have made it, like that would have changed a lot. And then nothing happened.
Yep.
They just, like, you'd think they would just, like, shoot her or, like, cut her head off and then run over to... but they just let her go, I guess. Okay.
No, they were busy.
True. That little kid really wanted to gut her.
Yeah, I got the impression that was, like, an important, like, figurehead of their religion or something. I don't even know. You know what actually crossed my mind in that scene? I was like, I wonder if Ellie proved that she was immune. Do you think they'd, like, worship her as, like, a god or something? Like,
no, because... They worship the girl because they hate the wolves, I think? I'm a little murky on the details.
But couldn't they see her as like a savior to be like, oh, we can utilize her somehow?
I don't know if they're that type of religious people. I think they're like...
Oh, interesting.
Like, there definitely would be people that could do that. Like, that seems like a story idea. But the Scars, like, hate technology, bro. That's why they're like... That's why their religion resonates with them, I think. I don't know.
Interesting.
But true, we jumped ahead a little bit. What were we talking about before that? Ellie wants to save that guy. Oh no, the Isaac scene, EliteAri. It's interesting because this is another fleshing out of like who should be the leader afterwards, like we did with Jesse at the beginning of the season, which wasn't in the game. But here it's like it's very interesting because you kind of this. Abby's body change kind of necessitates this, because in the game, like, Isaac loving Abby is just because she's a fucking monster, bro. She's going to kill 1 million people for him. Of course he loves her. And here it's like you kind of got to explain why Isaac and... I think I might have brought this up in a previous discussion where I was like, why is Abby and Isaac going to be best buds? But it's like she's leadership, bro. Even though it clearly seems like Owen is like the leader of their group. And Abby isn't, and she's like a dumb, crazy bitch.
Yeah, there was a moment where like Isaac is talking about we need her as a leader. I'm like, I just don't like why. Yeah. I guess I don't know anything about her. Like, yeah.
And it's a terrible role because Abby like completely drops she doesn't give a fuck about the wolves at all. She's like a firefly, and then she loves Lev, and then she helps kill Isaac. So that's cool. So it's interesting, but it's also the woman from the beginning of one of the other episodes. She trapped her son downstairs. Crazy. Oh, and Isaac, because Isaac has a line like, we've got 70 Owens. And I was like, I don't know. I don't know if we got 70 game Owens back there.
It's a common name.
But true. Good one, EliteAri. That was a good one. Everybody clap.
Thank you.
He had 40 Mel's too. Mel's a pretty common name. Nora is a little rare, EliteAri. I don't know if we have 50 Noras around. But, oh, and 50 Mannies too. I think he insulted Manny first.
That's not a common name.
I was like, yeah, Manny's kind of a common name. Manuel? Is that what Manny's long for?
I've never met a Manny in my life.
I met a few Manuels. No, just one. There's a French name, EliteAri. You need to hang out with the French more. This is a brown-skinned kid called Manuel. I guess I don't know. This, that'd probably happen somehow, EliteAri. I don't know.
Yep.
I grew up in a multicultural area, EliteAri. I'm cultured, unlike you, and I would never be racist. Now... True, Abby was worshipping. We said, fuck all these other people, they suck. Also, their crew is 5 people in the show, which is still funny to me. They all left. Oh, and Isaac also says that, like, I'm probably going to die and you're probably going to die by tomorrow. I always got the impression in the game that, like, Isaac thought they were absolutely going to flatten the scars. Which they kind of seem to be doing until, like, Tommy showed up and sniped, like, 50 of them, and then Ellie killed, like, 40 of them, and then Abby kills, like, 25 of them, and from behind the friendly lines and stuff like that, and all the Salt Lake people like leave, and Owen's over there not helping, and Manny got shot by Tommy, and so it's very it's kind of like a very interesting, like, background detail of, like, the wolves slowly coming apart because you're infiltrating them, but it's, like, not just because of you or because of Ellie. It's also, like, scars, and they get the jump on him a few times, and like, there's, like, the cool scene at the beginning of one of Abby's days where they're, like, at the FOB, EliteAri, now that's not a racist term, EliteAri, stop saying that. It just stands for hospital somehow. And, like, they go out in the trucks, and in the game there's not nearly as many trucks as there is in the show. And they get attacked by, they get jumped by scars, because the scars don't know that they're going to get, like, they're all retreating, EliteAri, so they can regroup, so they can do an all-out assault on the island. The Scars don't know this, and they've started to realize these fucking idiots are, like, all rushing to us, so they're jumping them all the time because it's easy, because they're all frantically trying to regroup for a thingy. But anyway, so a bunch of Scars took them out. It makes sense, EliteAri. There's, like, a method to them falling apart. It's kind of cool. And the big part is when fucking Yara kills Isaac, and they got no leader anymore, and you can hear it on the radio if you listen, I think, in Seattle Day 3. No, when is it? I think it's when you infiltrate the theater as Abby, you can listen to the radio for a long time, and it's like the people back at, like, mission control or whatever they call it, like, being like, the fucking whole squad over there's dead, we can't get a hold of Isaac, and they're saying all these things. They're like, oh, they're winning, and we got to retreat and something, and they can't even retreat. It's really cool. Anyway, it's optional stuff, EliteAri. Video games are cool. Anyway, EliteAri, we cut away from Isaac, and we've got Jesse, and in the bookstore is a scene in the game. That's not where Tommy and Jesse are staying, but you do walk through it, and you can pick up, like, books and see little kid areas and stuff. We have a Sesame Street book, EliteAri, because HBO owns Sesame Street, so that's pretty cool. And Jesse loved a girl, and he's all about Judy, but the way he's saying it makes him seem like a prick, EliteAri. And you like the scene?
Yep, it was good.
What do you like about it, EliteAri? Do you like Jesse being for Judy?
I don't even know. What is this?
Well, he fell in love, EliteAri.
I think it was like,
he
felt like, I feel like it was out of love for the people that saved him, right?
Judy to the people that saved him, perhaps.
What do you mean, Judy? I think it's more like love.
Well,
I don't think it was like, oh,
I'm
forced
for
to stay here. Like, I don't like it here. Yeah.
He should do something in return. It's the right thing to do.
I guess maybe he said that and I don't remember it, because I didn't think it as an exchange. I thought of it as like, I thought it was more like he feels like it's like he appreciates them or whatever. Like, I didn't think it was like, oh, because they saved me, I need to make sure I repay them or something.
Well, he kind of seems pissed off about it, right? He's like sometimes I don't think what I want to do, but that's because, like, I got to put the community first. I'm going to be the next Maria.
I don't know. I didn't get that vibe, but maybe.
Well, that's the whole vibe, I think. But anyway, then I just have written down the whale and the wheel, EliteAri. She saw it. It was cool, EliteAri. We admitted that was cool, but repeating it to herself, we already said was very funny.
There's two things. I have two notes on this. One is a general note about the episode, and it probably makes the episode why it's like the best episode of the season. The atmosphere, the storm is so great.
Is pretty cool.
It just makes everything better.
Stole it from the video game, EliteAri.
Yeah, I mean, it was cool in the game. It's cool here. The thunder was unbelievably loud. Like, sometimes it would just scare me because how much louder it was because of the dialogue. I don't know if it's like a HBO thing or whatever, but yeah, it was really loud.
I fucking hate HBO Max, EliteAri. Why did every rain shot look fucking terrible? Oh, it was your internet.
Maybe a bad
on
internet
binge,
or something.
it looked good every time. It looked crystal clear. The Great House of the Dragon. I could see the film grain. Yeah. It was so perfect. I bet. And The Last of Us season 1 was perfect. And now this shit American company is invaded our society, EliteAri. Bring back binge.
Yeah.
It was cheaper too, I think.
Sucks. You can watch it on your phone.
I forgot to cancel.
Really clear on your phone.
That is true, EliteAri.
That's a shame.
But I can't just start watching episode 7 on my phone. I can watch all of season 3 on my phone. But by then, hopefully I'll have an Ethernet cable or something. Where's my phone, EliteAri? I gotta cancel this fucking thing. It's gonna renew soon. I can't do it on my phone. I gotta wait. You better remind me.
Oh my God, Jesse voted no. Can you believe it? He voted no.
Oh yes, this is a thing.
Because I think that I said this.
Yes,
yeah, like that. Oh my God, he obviously voted yes, but no, he voted no.
Because, you know, it was Judy or something. EliteAri, I swear to God, you better send me a DM afterwards to delete this fucking goddamn shitty fucking subscription, right? When you send me that Serial Experiments Lane thumbnail, remind me to remind me, okay? Jesus Christ. It was a scene, EliteAri. They were arguing, and so the final line is like, I really hope you make it, which makes, like, it's a line from the game, but it makes a lot more, like, again, it's like a tonal thing, where like, they were having a fight, and then he said that at the end. But, like, either they should have waited, like, 3 more seconds before he said it, or they should have had a line where they calmed down a little bit before they said it. It felt like, so it was bad, EliteAri. I'm moving on to another line I hated. Because I just saw it in my notes, EliteAri, you know how it is. When Ellie's, like, reiterating, like, her motivation, where she's like, and they tortured him in front of me. I was like, this is cringe. I hate this. This was when I was starting to get real mad, EliteAri. I was not liking this stuff. I was like, yes, that's what happened, Queen. True. Tell them. Tell that,
I don't even remember it.
I was annoyed. I did not like it. I just have written down after that, they're both annoying. Exclamation mark. That's the thing people say in bad YouTube videos where they're like, I don't like any of these characters. They're both annoying me right now. How am I supposed to root for one of them? And I was a bad YouTuber in this moment, EliteAri. I was annoyed.
Good job. I do have to say, this was another scene where I felt like Ellie's accent wasn't the best, or maybe it was just like the accent was fine, but the performance was bad. I didn't like her yelling in this scene.
I think, that's probably what I was talking about. She was yelling where, they forced me to heckin' watch, but she said the F word, EliteAri, and I didn't think she swore good. She's no Eleanor. Now...
Right.
But true, I really didn't like that scene either, but I don't remember all the specific details because I should have made more notes, EliteAri, you know? But it was bad. I didn't like it. I assume... Like, I was curious, because you didn't like episode 5, and we were on the same page with that, with, like, the Dina
Which one was
that? The Dina backstory.
Oh, okay.
We were shitting on it.
Yeah, that was really bad.
So I was curious if you would like this, and then you said it was your favorite. So you
this was good.
Me again.
Yeah.
You didn't like Serial Experiments Lane. You're on thin ice, EliteAri. Next,
I liked it. What do you mean?
Next, you'll be saying Wonder Egg Priority was good. My goodness. 3 from 3, EliteAri. You're going to be out. Now...
We'll see.
This was to bring up. I'm curious what the general reaction will be. I guess people will probably just like it, right? Like, things happened. Take a guess, EliteAri.
Wait, the episode or the scene?
The episode overall.
Oh.
Does EliteAri ever disagree with the public opinion? It's probably good to trust his instincts.
Probably. I feel like no one's gonna have. They're probably gonna like it. I don't know why.
It's probably the same as everything else, right? Some people are gonna hate it. I feel like Ellie's ugly.
Yeah. Well, not those people. They're not like the average person.
They are.
I don't know. I don't know if people are gonna like. I feel like when I'm hearing all your complaints are about how it just is worse than the game.
That is a group.
And I feel like most people, like the average people, just probably don't know anything about the game.
Oh,
I don't know.
In one of the things, Neil Druckmann said it was. I don't know how he had this number, but he said like it was HBO internal numbers or something. 2/3 of the people apparently watching the show had probably never played any Last of Us games, EliteAri. And I was like, that's probably right.
That's an impressive. I figured it would be like way more haven't played it, but 2/3, like a third have played it. It's impressive.
It is. I don't know.
I guess there are a lot of gamers though. Like,
because
gamers represent a large portion of like the internet. I feel like
The Last of Us Part 1 did sell like, because there's like 3 versions of it, like 35 million units or something, like pretty big. I know Part 2 did like is like at 12 million. I know because shitty God of War Ragnarok outsold it, EliteAri. And that game probably sucks, EliteAri. I don't know. I haven't played it, but it makes me mad. Shitty Kratos, EliteAri. This dumb bald white dude. Embarrassing, you know. But anyway, so that I don't know, EliteAri. Don't get mad at me if you don't believe the numbers. I'm just repeating them, hopefully correctly. But you know, anyway, what were we talking about before that? Ellie ends up on the island is my next stop point, EliteAri. We talked about that one. The scene was we were speculating what the general public will think.
The goddamn boat arrived exactly where she washed up on shore, and I was like, I don't like this.
It's true.
I don't know. Yeah.
She did just wash up on the opposite way she was going. They did like frame the shots where it was like lightning.
You know what? Wait a minute. I also They must have put thought into this. Unless this is like the bad child actor in episode 1 thing again, where I'm like, how could they not put thought into this? How did she I don't get how she survived. Like, she's wearing a giant backpack, probably heavy. Like, she's wearing a bunch of clothing. She's got like washed by a wave pretty far from the shore. How on
just
earth
a
did she
thing
survive
that
that?
happens in TV shows. You wash up on the shore a little delirious, literally.
But I feel like usually you do it like you've lost all your stuff, you don't have your backpack anymore, your jacket.
That's
she's like wearing
true,
all of it, and she still has it.
She had it
like,
tightly
but I mean, maybe,
strapped in,
I don't know.
Eliteari, okay?
Yeah, true. Yeah. I guess we can say it's a miracle she survived, you know?
It
which
is,
fine.
it is.
That miracles happen.
The Ellie's blessed, she's immune, and she gets to wash up on shore one time. That she's redeemed all of her miracle points.
True. It's
the
yeah. And
I
Jesse
think
had to be sacrificed for that.
I think I screamed last time about how the coolest moment in the game is when she's like swimming to the aquarium, and I thought we were going to get it when she went overboard, but then she just washed up. So I was upset, Eliteari. In the great video game, she would swim. Now, Eliteari, you might be asking, now they try to do a little detail here, which I assume this is how guns work, Eliteari. You can't fire them if they're all wet, so when she got into the aquarium, she had to dry them
I didn't know that either.
That was funny. I'm just assuming from context that's probably what that was all about.
Yeah.
It is funny because people say this in the game a lot. Ellie has like a journal that you can like interact with, and it's always in her backpack. And because it's constantly raining in Seattle, and she's like swimming through things, and she goes through that whole sewer sequence, but the journal is still in tip-top shape of Eliteari. So the bag is waterproof, and it was never left a little bit undone.
Amazing.
So, you know, that's another little thing of convenience. But we overlook these things, Eliteari.
Yep. True.
Then she runs away from the island. Pretty cool. She's got a boat. You have the boat for a few, like, the whole day at Leary, so it's pretty cool. And the boat goes overboard. It is kind of cute. The boat like keeps fucking up, and you have to press triangle to make it go. And then eventually it fucks up when you're right underneath the wave, and it's like it's build up and payoff for Leary. You know, it's a genius. But in this, we just find the boat there. It was cute when she goes to get the boat initially, and she's like gonna kill these two guys that probably have nothing to do with anything. But then she sees all the lights coming, and then Isaac and the crew are running off to the island.
That was a cool reveal.
That was I did like that. I'm drinking a Leary. Say something.
And again, it's the atmosphere. The scene would not be as good as it was without the atmosphere of the rain and like seeing the lights in the distance, and like it's all that. And also another thing I haven't mentioned explicitly, the music for this scene was like good. It felt very much, and no one's gonna, maybe people will know what I mean, the hard home music when you're like getting the White Walkers and you're looking at the four horsemen of the apocalypse in the distance. It was that kind of music where it's like a clock that's like ticking and it's like intense, and I was like, I like this.
I thought it was like a heartbeat.
Now, maybe it was like a heartbeat, whatever. But the show is, when I think back to the show, not once do I think of like the music. Now that might be because the music is from the game or something, and maybe they're using like a bunch of game OST stuff. I have no idea. Do you have any idea if they're like is there an overlap? Does the game have music?
The Last of Us has the really famous song, which is like the intro song, right? With the guitar.
Okay, no, I mean more like that
I know what you mean, but that song, because it's not like an intro in the game, it's used throughout the game a lot. I don't know if they don't really use it much in the show. I feel like it's a few times in the episode I did notice the music, and I usually don't notice music at all. So
I did in this one as well. Which made me feel like, I wish the show had like more music like this. Like I feel like it could probably elevate some stuff, but it is what it is.
That is like in the game, Leering. It is a cute thing because like in the Ellie part, they don't really use the old Last of Us score too much, but they do use it a lot in the Abby part. And it's like a little cute little subconscious attack on you, Leary. You like this music, and now it's over Abby helping Yara and Lev. I thought you're supposed to hate this girl, Leary. Oh, it's a little bit of manipulation here. And then EliteAri, we're inside the aquarium. It was a cute little shout out to the game where there's like the things that she can like jump over and the ladder on the top, which is what you have to do in the game, EliteAri. You know, there's always little puzzles to get into places. It seems a little silly in a TV show, but they kept it anyway. There was like a little thing. She could jump on this thing, and you could see she could probably jump on the next thing to get up into the roof and then cross the thingy. And then in the game, you actually have to break the window with the brick. But in this, the window is already broken, and then you sneak in. Oh my God, EliteAri, I just realized something. Do you know what I realized?
Absolutely not.
She didn't kill the dog in the episode.
Oh, yeah, you kept going on about that. It was a dog or something. That is true.
The great Alice has been cut.
The horse survived. The dog survived. Oh, my goodness.
Oh, my God. This is pathetic. This show has no fucking balls. That's why there's no subtlety. And fucking Ellie was going to be mean the whole season like she was in the game. But then they audience tested it. What do you call that, EliteAri? Red Letter Media's always going on about it. Audience test,
isn't it? Oh, there's a thing. Oh my God, I don't know what it is, but yes,
specific viewership test viewing.
Maybe it is audience testing. It sounds familiar. Yeah.
test screenings, right? Maybe. Sounds vaguely right. Yeah. They did the tech screenings and they said, I don't really like this Ellie girl in this season. And so they changed it to make her be more lame. And they said, no killing dogs. Now, you can kill a lot of dogs in the game, EliteAri. These fucking wolves have got dogs everywhere. You think they should be called the dogs, EliteAri.
That's a good one.
You can hit them with like a hammer.
They're like wolves, but no, they're sheep or whatever. I was like, that's
Isaac did say that?
Bit.
I didn't like that line. I thought it was stupid. Anyway, that was the best scene.
I liked it.
The that was actually, I'm retracting EliteAri. I like that line now because it's like he was so like upset that all the Fedra guys were like retarded, but like he seems to still have the same thing of like these wolves are fucking stupid now, but he's in charge at least. But it's like maybe Isaac's learned a hard lesson, EliteAri, that it's actually people that are retarded.
Yep.
You know, sometimes you gotta figure these things out. Not me though, EliteAri. I'm pretty smart. Now.
Yep. True.
EliteAri said true. That's actually crazy because I remember there was a long shot where it was a narrow corridor and I'm like, oh, the dog's going to run up. And then I forgot about it. And then I didn't realize until now it never happened. I mean,
I can tell you what I thought in this scene when Ellie's going and she hears the voices. I'm like, oh my god, Abby's here. How is Abby here?
No,
like, Abby and Owen are talking. Oh my god, she's going to kill Abby.
The great Owen and Mel, of course, EliteAri. She does barge in on them having an argument. They're having a much lesser argument here than they are in the game because in the game, Owen is going to leave Mel. He's decided that he's going to leave her. She's like, she can stay here. Somebody else will look after the baby. I'm going with the great Abby, with the love of my life and the little kids. And Mel's being a bitch about it, EliteAri, even though she's totally right. But, you know, we hate her anyway. She's getting in the way of our love story. And we got to protect Clev, EliteAri, let's be honest. Now, so, like, I think, like, one of the last things she says is, like, fuck you, Owen. I think that's kept in the game. But she says, because Owen still, in the show, rather. Because Owen still says the, like, well, I think this might be the same in the game. In the show, they're having an argument about going to get Abby. And, like, she's saying, like, she's like, it's a suicide mission, which is basically for Owen, who is already wanted by the Scars because he kills a Scar. No, wanted by the wolves, EliteAri, because he kills a wolf and that's why he runs away. And that's why on Abby day 1, you got to go find Owen. And then you find him at the fucking aquarium after you've gone through a bunch of shit. So, like, he's like, if he goes there, the Scars are going to want to kill him. Isaac's going to want to kill him. But he wants to go and do it, basically risk his life to save fucking Abby, his old ex-girlfriend. And I'm over here pregnant, EliteAri, and he's already looking like he's going to leave me. And I know he cheated on me last night. So they're having a bit of an argument. And so, but then, don't worry, Ellie stops the argument, EliteAri. Congratulations.
Yep.
But in this dumb show, she's like, oh, the great Mel, let me cut the baby out of you. I'm crying right now. Please let me help you. I just don't want to. Stab her in the neck, Ellie. That's what we're here for, EliteAri. Pissed me off. I hate this change. I have written down here, she had no choice. She's sorry. Pathetic.
Yep.
But you liked it, EliteAri.
I don't know what to say.
It's a little hokey, no? You know, just cut the baby out.
No, I think it was,
and it went through Owen's neck, but grazed him.
There's an issue. There is an issue, okay? Which is that I don't really. I'm not too invested in the story. I don't think
it is. Yeah. Do you think it's the mystery element? Because in the game, you have no idea what's going on. You haven't seen the wolves. You haven't seen, like, anything that's going on. You think Abby is the wolves. You think these people are the wolves, and they're not. And you slowly keep seeing stuff. And, like, you've seen the Scars, like, once, and then you see their stuff everywhere. And it's like, what the fuck is going on? And, like, these two people that are supposed to be on the same side, leading this organization, are having an argument. And you know that he's pregnant with a thingy. And it's just like, you're trying to figure it out. And also, there's the, like, we just left Jesse, and now Jesse and Tommy are both going to die, and we got Dina back here, and what are they going to think? And now we're going to get to see Tommy again, and there's like a bunch of things. I guess a bunch of those things I just listed are still in the show. There's also just a forward propulsion of, like, it's all like, if you want to, it's all happening, like, right now, because you can just play, rather than, like, wait in installments. So maybe urgency is the issue? I don't know, EliteAri, help me diagnose this terrible show. Why don't we care?
The thing is that because maybe the show is, maybe the appeal of the show is more so the it could be some of the mystery stuff, like, not mystery, but like the
intrigue,
uncertain nature of things. Yeah, the intrigue. Because you said that you've like watched through the game like multiple times, and I feel like you don't lose much of the experience, right? Because now that you know what's everything that's happened, so maybe the game is like better at having both the intrigue and the
yeah,
actual
but
subtle things that are enjoyable, whereas here it's not like
it
that.
is very dense,
Maybe
where
it is
there is a
like
lot of little details that like you only get on like your fifth time through or whatever, where it's like you can like hear like a loud bang when you're near the hospital, and it's probably Abby fighting the Rat King, and there's like whoa, and like the Abby was here like 20 minutes ago. That's like never, like you have to think about that. So there's like, and I guess because it is just really long, it is just like anything kind of when you're rewatching it, you've like forgotten a bunch of the details, so it's sort of like a, I don't know. I just love rewatching shit, so I'm probably not well to diagnose this stuff. I guess on a rewatch you like have more context, so because you don't see this in the Abby's like section, you don't re-see the Mel and Owen argument here. So only on a second time can you really get the context, and so you would be equally as intrigued of like, oh, well that makes sense that they would be arguing right now, and it's kind of sad that like the last thing they did was argue, and that Owen never got to see it, and then Abby's gonna be back here in like an hour and just see the corpses or whatever. I don't know. Now obviously I don't like the show, but I do fundamentally feel this too, where it's like Abby shows up again at the end, and it's like, okay, like
the thing is I like that, but I don't like the perspective switch afterwards. I like the scene where she shows up though.
That is
one thing to say is I have very little investment in the show, and I think it's also exemplified strangely for me in that I don't have any desire to watch reaction videos for this series.
Yeah, neither have
I have.
That's
with little exception. Last episode, I was like, oh, I don't really care to watch any reactions. But then I remembered the first scene has like the Lalo Salamanca guy in it. I'm like, oh, I want to like watch reaction to that scene. So I watched like a few reactions to that scene in particular. But then the episode goes on. I'm like, oh, I don't really want to see much else for this. And I feel like it probably has to do with the investment. And like, I feel like stuff happens. It's like mildly interesting. And there's like some scenes I like quite a bit. But overall, it's like, I don't know. I just don't find it. I'm not too invested in anything going on.
There's I wonder if like are the normies really invested right now? Are they like excited for the like? I feel like I watched their Last of Us season 1 ones, and they were like, oh, more Last of Us, let's go.
Yeah.
Because it does seem like impossible to me for whatever reason, even though people like a bunch of stuff I don't like, but it's like I feel like it is like a momentum thing or something. I don't know. But maybe it's just because I'm down on it and I can't see outside of my own perspective, so I must affect it into other people's lyrics. So they couldn't possibly be excited because I'm not excited. And, you know, what's that going to achieve? But EliteAri would get a battery warning, so we should probably speed this up.
There is something to say, which is that people do really like things, even if you don't like them.
Like shitty Arcane.
Mean that like a you way. No, well, what I mean for me is like, there's like certain episodes of, and I've talked about this, especially when it comes to Star Wars, where I'm like watching an episode, I'm like, oh god, I don't want to watch reactions because people are gonna love this,
and it's gonna annoy
people just love Star Wars, especially Blind Wave, and I'm like, I can't possibly imagine what you like about this, but because it's Star Wars, you're gonna like it, and it's like people just love things for weird reasons, and I'm like, I don't get it sometimes. Like a lot of people will like things for weird reasons. I don't know.
This is kind of connected, but it's like. I was always apprehensive of which like playthroughs I would watch of The Last of Us Part 2 because I was like, oh no, if they're gonna dislike it, it's just gonna put me in a bad mood and piss me off. It would be very funny because if I was to watch season 2 reactions, it would be the exact opposite, where I'd be like, if fucking I see Serge over here who's played the video game liking this fucking shitty version of this scene that's ruining everything, I'm gonna get really mad. It's funny because I found the cheat code for watching the playthroughs of EliteAri. You just watch girls play through it and they're gonna like it. You don't want to watch a boy because they're gonna get annoying and dumb.
Except for the great Eric. Yeah.
Except for the great Eric. And I watched Calvin for like 45 minutes and then said, no thank you. But that's okay. Yeah. We don't like Calvin.
What about iShowSpeed?
Oh, no, I never actually watched that video. I just sent it to you, EliteAri, so I think I started watching the beginning of it. But all the comments were very positive. They're like, oh my god, I didn't expect iShowSpeed to have media literacy. So it seemed like Last of Us Part 2 positive people, because I think there was also references to like he was like on Abby's side a little bit or something. Anyway, iShowSpeed played through the games recently. Pretty cool. That's the power of the HBO television adaptation, EliteAri. Now...
That is true.
True. Mel and Owen, and then that happened later. Did we talk about that? Moving on.
Yeah, the scene. I like the scene. I like the way that like I knew that they both died. I like the thing where it's like, oh, she's like he's shot through the neck, and he goes and like pierces her neck, and I'm like, oh, that's like kind of cool. I did like also the interaction between, just putting aside the fact that like it's putting aside the fact that Ellie is like different in this situation, caring more about the baby and everything. I do like the way that Ellie is kind of confused and is like doesn't quite know what to do in this situation, and she doesn't like attempt to do the extract the baby. She's just like, I don't know what to do. What is a transverse thing? And like I like all that stuff. Yeah, just to say that.
That was I kind of like that. I was just more annoyed at that she does care about the baby. When like the reveal, she starts vomiting and stuff when she sees that Mel's pregnant. I always just took it as like she's like imagining that this was Dina and somebody was doing this to Dina type thing. But yeah, I don't know. It's like she seems to be like very hesitant in hurting Mel at all, but I don't know. Whatever. We've kind of already talked about that.
Yeah.
Oh, my next note is the men have come to save the day with their plans. We already talked about that. Bad Ellie and Jesse rekindling scene. This scene also annoyed me. What was happening in this scene? I don't remember. I'll just recap the rest of it, and then we can talk about it until the laptop dies. Abby confrontation. I was looking for you. I didn't mean to hurt them. Oh my god, I'm so mad. I say fuck you in these notes, literally, because Ellie's even here. She's like, I didn't mean to hurt them. I'm so sorry, Master Abby. Please don't hurt me. She says, she doesn't say anything. I was going to say, she says, fuck them in the video game, but she doesn't. She's just freaking the fuck out because dumb Jessie is dead and she has to throw her gun away and she's trying to figure out how the fuck she's going to get out of this. And in the end, I think she just runs at Abby and knocks her over or something. It's a bit funny, but anyway. Then she runs behind the theater. Yeah. That part's pretty fucking epic. Oh, and there's even the cringiest thing in the whole episode of EliteAri is that like Abby fires a gunshot before we cut, and it's so cringe. That's not what happens in the video game.
Yeah, so
she's just
I
aiming
guess
it.
yeah, you can.
And then it
Oh
cuts.
my god, I was gonna ask you, like, this is so weird. Is Ellie dead? And like, she obviously is not dead, but like, what happens? Like, what does she?
Well,
shoot at?
I think Tommy like punches her in the leg or something, and then she misses, and that's when Ellie runs back. Then she shoots Tommy in the side of the head, thinking he's dead, but also Lev shoots Tommy in the. No, Lev probably already shot Tommy in the leg. And then you chase after
Okay, there's
Ellie.
also, one more thing then, because that makes sense. What is this? Oh, okay. One more thing is that oh my god, what was I gonna say? I got so distracted. I got a message from Minty.
Shitty Minty's back.
What was I?
Kill it! What did he just say to me? Minty just messaged saying Mel's scene was good. I just messaged back, kill yourself. Now.
Yeah.
What were you saying, EliteAri?
I completely lost my train of thought. Oh, the scene at the. Oh, sorry. Why does Ellie like react? And I'm like, okay. You said you didn't like the scene because it's like Ellie in this moment is kind of being overly like
sorry.
Like, oh, I didn't mean to kill them or whatever. However, it does seem like if the last thing she says is like, oh, she like freaks out that Abby shot her, right? And it makes it feel like, oh, she was lying the whole time just to get like an advantage on Abby. Abby.
I guess.
And it feels like the fact that Abby shot her is like, oh, she's freaking out because she's like, oh, I don't actually shoot me, like I was playing you or whatever. Yeah, that's my reading, but also it was a bit weird.
I didn't even think about that at all.
Yeah.
It seemed genuine though to me, I guess, especially considering everything else that happened right before it. But that's kind of funny. I kind of like that.
Excellent. You're welcome.
There is just a presence to how like Laura Bailey acts the scene, where it's like the way she says like, we let you live and you wasted it, and she's like actually shaken because she's like, this is a very impulsive, direct, vengeful thing for Abby. Whereas for Ellie, it's like a big planned out thing where like Abby breaks into the theater and sees all of the photos of her friends and is like, what the fuck is this? Like some creepy stalker has come to kill them all or something. And whereas her, she just like found the map and followed and didn't even realize like who was doing this until she sees them. I used to say, EliteAri, that I don't think Abby knows Ellie's name. But Tommy does say Ellie's name in this scene in both versions, so Abby might know Ellie's name. That's pretty cool, huh?
Yep.
But I like that it's still a really cool thing that she doesn't give a fuck about shitty Ellie. but little Ellie's obsessed. It's crazy. Anyway, because I saw a Mia tweet where Mia was like, I think I'm more mad at the Abby casting than the Ellie casting, and it was like right after he probably would have watched this episode. I do agree. She doesn't have she kind of has a nagging, like annoying presence. It is just the body type. I think it is just like Abby is here, and like it makes sense that Tommy's on the ground right now crying like a bitch because Abby just beat the fuck out of this loser.
Yeah,
she's the greatest. And it's like Ellie's gonna run the fuck away because she can't do nothing, and she's gonna make traps, and then she's gonna get caught, and her arm's gonna get broken, and she's gonna get her face punched in. She's a great Abby's here. What do you think was gonna happen?
I have to say, I think I feel like I probably said this in episode 1, which is that it's baffling to me that they cast someone not as big as Abby for Abby, and I was willing to be like, oh, we'll see where it goes. So far, at least, it hasn't changed my perspective on that at all. It still is a baffling decision to me.
Every Abby scene has been terrible,
season,
huh?
like
the introduction scene, her monologuing her motivation to Joel before she kills him. I hated that. This scene wasn't good.
Yeah.
She's got a whole season next time. Let's hope. Like, even Manny seems like annoying when he's waking her up, and I'm like, I don't want to watch these two for like 3 episodes at the beginning of the next season. Manny's so like charming in the video game, and they're talking about how Abby let Manny have the room that they shared to fuck a girl, and they're flirting and stuff. Kind of, it's like cool. These idiots don't flirt; they suck.
Right.
Anyway, I got the second battery warning, so if you got something, Alira, you got to speed it up.
Well, I think the most important thing to talk about is thoughts on this season as a whole.
I definitely.
What do you think about it? Because you are way more positive than me, I think, even throughout this. Is it at least like not?
But
you
I've
were definitely more negative
talking
wise. But but in the end, you're always like, oh, but it was like still really.
This
good.
Was not an 8 out of 10 episode. I was mad, and I don't know. It might just be a breaking point where now I'm like, yeah, the whole season was obviously 6 out of 10.
Okay. Yeah.
I know initially when I was watching, I was like, this whole show sucks. Like, why do I pretend the show is good? But season 1 is like good. Remember when Joel like they meet that like old couple out in like the snow, and there's like a fat woman, and she's what a great scene.
Yep.
I definitely think like season 2 is weaker. But it's probably just because I like the source material that they're fucking with a lot. Because they really did fuck with season, like none of really what happens in the game happens in like you meet Henry and Sam, and that's kind of the same. There's an attack they attack the Fireflies at the end. They're in Boston at the beginning. Like the brief overview is the same, but like Sam and Henry being, I don't remember which one. It's Sam being deaf, and like you never meet Bill you never meet Bill, and all that stuff. It's like really different. But most people are like, oh, this change is good, and I was like on their side. But this time, obviously, I'm more sensitive and stuff. I don't know.
Yeah.
7 out of 10. I don't fucking know. Because it feels so competent a lot of the time. But it did feel less competent. Like that opening scene was just terrible. Where they're just standing there or whatever. And then even you got the hang up about the bad kid actor. It is like, it feels like really bad at some points. Whereas I don't think season 1 really ever felt that.
It is funny. The kid actor, it stuck with me. It was the first sign that I was like, this is so weird, and it continued throughout the season. Where I'm like, okay, that was the first sign that it was gonna be. There's a lot of weird acting and stuff, decisions that I'm baffled at how they came to this decision. If they like had all the time and effort to plan it, I don't know. I'm probably pretty similar to you that I think I don't know what you think now, but season 1, I still from my memory, I remember liking that a lot. Season 2, I would.
We're going flat later. We're going fat real fast.
Okay, to me, it would either be